As right on cue, Dan, Nirvan Ramesh will come on to bowl his first over of the day. Plenty to like about the 17-year-old. Has a very distinguishable action. That's the first thing you'll notice about his bowling. But against Glamorgan, he's just relentless in terms of his line, in terms of his length. Possesses some decent variations, mixes up the speed and trajectory as well. I mean, he's someone who I know for a fact Darren Lehman rates very, very highly. And he has been a bit of a superstar in second 11 cricket. Took 30 wickets over the course of the campaign in 2025. Then made an instant mark in the One-Day Cup. Getting that wicket on debut against Durham in that victory at the Riverside. Here he is then. Just making some final adjustments to the field. Brought in at slip. Man under the lid at short leg. Got plenty of protection on the onside as well. Holland goes for the reverse, and that's a good tumbling stop there by James Sales. Diving there at backward point. So just to confirm the field, it is a 5-4 in favour of the leg side. You can see there straight away the intent from Holland just to disrupt the rhythm of the young gun. That one is a full toss, tries to whack it through extra cover. Will be cut off on the dive there. Rob Keogh, and doing the fielding. Of course, he's also had some really good news, hasn't he, with the recent contract extension. Just feels right to see Rob Keogh donning the Tudor Rose of Northamptonshire.
Yeah, and becoming a father as well. So a good month or so for Rob Keogh. Up at number 3 this week in the batting lineup as well, which is nice to see. Bit of responsibility for Rob with bat in hand. No massive turn on show as yet from Nirvan Ramesh.
Patel looking there to sweep the 17-year-old. Down towards George Scrimshaw it is. Deep backward square leg. Oh, that one. An expansive shot from Ian Holland. Doesn't get the desired connection, and that will be a dot ball to finish. So Leicestershire 86 for 1 after 18 overs here at the county ground Northampton. Just to back up the point about Nirvan Ramesh, I think there is an awful lot to like. But at the same time, we've got to remember he's 17 years of age. Spinners take a long time to fully mature. I think it says an awful lot, actually, about his performances so far. The fact that we saw Glamorgan playing with a lot of respect in the previous home game here in the Championship. And so far, that same respect is being paid to him by Rishi Patel, who goes now for the sweep shot. Ball just trickle down towards deep backward square for 1 run. I also like the fact that he's been so aggressive with his field placement as well. Like straight away, he wants the short leg in place. Get men in the peripheral vision of the 2 Leicestershire batters. Holland goes for the reverse again and stopped by James Sales. Holland plays that one defensively once more. I mean, for those who haven't seen Nirvan and don't really know his story, he was previously on the Surrey Academy, played for the Brown Caps from under 11 to under 17 level. Holland drives once more for no run. Plays his club cricket down at Bronsbury. Also played for Teddington and Primrose Hill over the past few years, and he's been coached by a name who I imagine will be quite familiar to those who watched county cricket in the 2000s. Holland goes for the lap sweep there. And that will be a dot ball to round out over number 20. Leicestershire 92 for 1 at this stage on the first day's play for the twos. As you do, as commentators, you look through a lot of footage. And the majority of his dismissals have either been LBW or bowled, and it is exactly because of that. It's an action which you don't realise just how much pace he's putting on the ball, and it just skids on. It can cause all sorts of problems.
Yeah, you see there, can't you? He's almost like runs. He runs through the crease. There's no kind of gather. The run up, or the however you want to call it, gathers pace as you go through, but there's no big skip. There's no, and I would imagine that probably quite difficult to get your timing right as a batter. As Rishi Patel advances, doshes him down the ground. One bounce four towards the Curo Wealth Lounge here at the county ground. Rishi Patel has seen enough of Nirvan Ramesh to back himself, back his footwork, get himself into a position, didn't overhit it. Ramesh gets the ball back and he's at the end of his mark and he's ready to go again. It's a quick over as well, isn't it? He doesn't hang around. That one wider, shorter in response to that previous shot. Rishi Patel just dead bats it into the offside.
It's a very good player of spin, is Rishi Patel. As you could see there with the footwork, absolutely bang on the money. Putting a little bit of pressure more on Ramesh's shoulders, and there he goes again, trying to just get into the psyche of the 17-year-old. Yeah, I interviewed Rishi a couple of years back now, and what he does over the winter, or what he has done in the past, he's gone over to India, basically to just do spin clinics, work on his footwork, work on his timing, work on his approach and his angles against spin.
Oh, top edge. It's going to fall safe. It's gone straight over Lewis McManus, really. It's going to allow Rishi Patel to come back for a second. A full shot, a bit of extra bounce from Nirvan Ramesh. Got Patel into a bit of trouble, but lands well safe of Ben Whitehouse, who finds himself at 45, or on the 45 at the moment. Fortune for Patel. Takes his score up to 39. The Leicestershire total up to 99. So we get a dot ball to finish the over. I think that's fantastic. You know, I know the world is a smaller place than what it ever once was, and we get so much more access to athletes now than what we ever used to get. So we do see more behind the scenes, which I'm a massive, massive fan of. And you must have been scrabbling around live streams trying to find some cricket to watch at that point. Your normal 9-game multi-box that you have set up in your living room with your different TVs was just reduced to probably 1 or 2 for a couple of hours here and there. Saved on the electricity bill, though, Aaron, I would imagine. Ramesh continues from the David Capel end.
Well, it's funny you say that. I went to day 4 of the Warwickshire-Essex game, and it had rained all day the day before, so day 3 was washed out. Rained a little bit on day 4, and the game was called by 12 o'clock. So after that, it was a scramble. It was to basically see, well, hang on, what other cricket is on? Of course, we saw the culmination of that terrific encounter down in South London, though. Nottinghamshire taking a big step forward to that first county championship crown since 2010. They know it's in their hands this week.
Hill That's another one. Just gets the inside half of the bat on that. Works it behind Harish Buchaki. Short leg. Gets taken out of that position now that Rishi Patel is on strike. Probably in response to Patel's willingness to advance and walk at Ramesh. They've just gone slightly more defensive. He just goes in there at a catching mid-wicket in those wicket ends. Nicely played, nicely fielded off his own bowling on the follow-through. Yeah, I've been impressed. An impressive start from Nirvan Ramesh. My first opportunity to watch him live. It's been enjoyable, I think. Northamptonshire here have got someone that they can get pretty excited about with regards to the future. That's aerial again, into the leg side. Didn't get all of it. Races up to that deep mid-wicket boundary for another 4 for Rishi Patel. He moves into the 40s, 43 now off 69 deliveries for the Leicestershire opener. 7 4s in the innings. Oh, there's that sunshine, Aaron, that we were promised.
That's more like it, isn't it?
Aaron Lehman's got the shorts on. He knew it was happening, didn't he? Swept this time, powerful. Down towards George Scrimshaw at deep square leg for a single. Rishi Patel looks like he's settling in against Nirvan Ramesh now after a bit of a nervy start. Keeps the strike as well. Keeps the score up to 106 for 2. Yeah, Northamptonshire got 2 new batters in the crease. 16 minutes to go on the clock. Can they take another one with them? Can they walk away with 4 Leicestershire wickets before lunch? Lewis Hill's faced the 7 deliveries. Eskenazi has faced 4. You can see the field as well now, can't you, as well? There's a bit more of a squeeze on from McManus. He's brought fielders back in around the batters. That's into the shin pads of Buchaki. Don't think we'll class that as a drop catch.
Absolutely not.
Chance though, it was on the full. Hit Buchaki rather than really getting his hands to it. Oh, that's gone as well. It is a bottom edge. What a take that is from Lewis McManus. An attempted sweep from Lewis Hill. It's fired through off the surface from Nirvan Ramesh. A really, really smart piece of keeping from Lewis McManus. The bottom edge into the gloves of the keeper. Now Northamptonshire have got 4 with 15 minutes to go in this morning session. Still with 2 new batters at the crease. This is turning around quite quickly. Are you still saying that you'd still look at this as Leicestershire's session?
I think now with that wicket, I would change my mind. I think this is now becoming Northamptonshire's. At one stage, let's not forget, Leicestershire was 70 without loss. Now 110 for 4. So it's been a pretty pronounced collapse here for the visiting side. And that has been mainly down to the bowling of George Scrimshaw. I think he's been an inspired change from the Lynn Wilson centre end. And Nirvan Ramesh as well, providing plenty of control, discipline and accuracy from the David Capel end. So, I think this has been a terrific show of character from Northamptonshire. And I'm always delighted to see young spinners in the wickets. So, well done as well to Nirvan Ramesh. Certainly having a memorable first couple of months with the Tudor Rose.
Absolutely. Again, I think Lewis Hill there just being beaten for a bit of pace, wasn't he? Just from Ramesh. I can't speak highly enough of that catch by Lewis McManus, though. The bottom edge off the sweep is not going to be an easy piece of work, but he made that look like a catch that he would take every day of the week with his eyes closed.
Here's a question for you. As a member of that wicket-keepers union.
The proud union.
Absolutely. Same with the spinners union, of course. So as a keeper, what would you say is more challenging? Catching an under edge like that?
Yeah.
Or standing up to the stumps against pace?
I'd say at this at this level, the bottom edge, the under edge. Because I think standing up to pace, particularly at professional cricket, you stand a decent chance of knowing that the bowler knows where they're going to put it. You stand up against some seamers in the lower levels, and well, you're kind of at the mercy of anything, aren't you, from some of your teammates in the club cricket circuits. It's a bit of a wide one. Again, though, beats the new batter, Johnny Tattersall. Therefore, Leicestershire at number 6.
Who himself is a member of said Wicketkeepers Union.
It's a good club. Growing as well. I think it's becoming more popular. That's a real change of pace from Nirvan Ramesh. Gave it some huge flight. Took all the pace off of it and made Tattersall wait. And did he? Waited perfectly. Timed it into the offside. Placed it for 2. Gets himself off the mark.
It's getting to the stage now in this morning session where if one final wicket does fall here for Leicestershire, Northamptonshire will certainly fancy their chances heading into that period after lunch.
Over pitch that time from Ramesh. Tattersall not able to navigate it through that offside field, which, as I said, it's just got a little bit tighter now that Ramesh has picked up wicket. 2 new batters at the crease as well. Slip and a short leg in place. That does get the outside edge, and it's wide of Justin Broad. I'll come back for a second. Tattersall very quick between the stumps. Wanted that second run, didn't he? Moves to 4.
I think for Johnny as well, I know it's the end of the season and Leicestershire have already been crowned as the champions, but you want to get off to a good start. You want to make that instant impression to your new club. And he'll be relishing this opportunity to get some runs on the board.
Back of a length. Well fielded, just about for James Sales. Good first stop, and then full length, flat out on the grass, just scrambling to try and find the ball, wasn't he, to keep Tattersall on strike as Rob Keogh just giving him a little bit of a wind up there from mid-off. Looked like a Hull City fan, didn't he, celebrating a win at the football, mauled by the Tigers. Change of angle for Ramesh. Coming around the wicket. Inside edge into the pad, maybe to bring Uchake into play. Under the lid there. Short leg. Looks like safe save might be getting loose. Just before lunch, maybe see a little bit of safe save before the interval. Scrimshaw, that would have been 3 overs for the big fast bowler. You'd think he'd have at least 1 more in the locker, wouldn't you? Before being taken out of the attack. 5 minutes to go. I suppose we could get this one, a Scrimshaw over, and then another one. So maybe he's safe to bowl the last one, but I don't think I'd take Nirvan Ramesh off. Quicker and flatter. Well played. Just wide of Uchake. Keeps the strike, gets a single. 121 for 4. Looks like we are going to get a changes.
A very warm welcome back to the county ground Northampton, where we are almost ready to get underway in the afternoon session. Leicestershire resume on 122 for 4 in this, the 30th over. Nirvan Ramesh bowls at first to Johnny Tattersall, defensive in his approach. Of course, for Northamptonshire, they'll be looking to build on that impressive stretch towards the end of that opening session. A stretch which saw 4 wickets fall in quick succession. James Sales cuts that one off. Big thank you as well to everybody tuning in via the Northamptonshire live stream. You're listening to the voice of Aaron Viles, and alongside me, as was the case for the morning session, it is, of course, the excellent Dan Jadzovic. And Dan, it was a good session, wasn't it? Good starts to this game.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed your lunch break. I'm sure there's been some good offerings for those that have taken a break away from the stream this afternoon on the lunch break. It's been good. It has been good. It's been good. It was even, wasn't it? I was slightly worried for that opening hour that it was going to be a pretty tough watch for Northamptonshire, but they wrestled themselves back into the game really nicely. George Scrimshaw led that wrestle. The three overs he bowled first up, went nearly 8 and over, came back, picked up 2 wickets in consecutive overs. And then I've really enjoyed this spell from Nirvan Ramesh as well, which continues into the afternoon session from the David Capel lens. It's a very, very exciting prospect. One that doesn't look easy to play against, and someone that I think will have a good future here at Northamptonshire. Don't really play with they don't really have a domestic frontline spinner, do they, so to speak, Northamptonshire. Rob Keogh does a lot of that heavy lifting, or has done a lot of it through his career, but he's a genuine all-round cricketer. He will have a role to play with both bat and ball. Yes, they've brought in Yuzvendra Chahal at points to play as that front line and that primary spinner, but I mean that is a spot that's available really for Northamptonshire, and if Nirvan Ramesh can impress and make it his own, then maybe that overseas spot gets used somewhere else next year, and Ramesh carries the weight of that forward for Northamptonshire. It's obviously very, very early in his career to start comparing him to Yuzvendra Chahal. That certainly wasn't the case, but it's a job that's available for Northamptonshire, and I mean, it's his to take really at the moment, or that's what it feels like based on what I've seen from him so far.
No, I think that's a very valid point, and Northamptonshire as a county, very much a proud lineage of producing domestic spin bowlers from the likes of Graham Swan and Monty Panesar, Graham White in the limited overs formats as well. Certainly a club and a county with plenty of spin pedigree.
It feels like this is the point of the game that could sway this game significantly either way. But then we saw that in the morning session. You thought that opening first hour went Leicestershire's way, and Northamptonshire came back in a big way, didn't they, to even that session out. So yeah, no hour is more or less crucial than the next one, but I know exactly what you mean. It feels like if either side can get a real stranglehold on this, it will put them in the ascendancy, that is for sure. Whether Leicestershire can bat this hour with the 2 of them, or can Northants break this and then potentially pick up another one.
Nice stop there in the field from George Bartlett. Still a 5-4 field on the onside here for Nirvan Ramesh, so no change of tactic or game plan. One almost brings in the debutant Avrish Buchake into the mix at short leg. That will be another single to add to the tally. Avrish is no stranger to being under the helmet. Of course, is someone who usually dons the gloves, but McManus as the senior and as the captain of this side, he's taken the gloves for this encounter. I must say I'm really looking forward to seeing his approach. This Northants side being carded down to open the batting alongside Lewis McManus. He's someone who I view as quite a positive cricketer. Talking of positive cricket, Stevie Eskenazi takes 1, 2, 3 steps down the track and then just dispatches it all the way down the ground for 4. A lovely shot that from the former Middlesex man. And Leicestershire now 129 for 4. Good option to take, isn't it, against any finger spinner, providing that you reach the right pitch of the delivery.
Why did Nirvan Ramesh duck out of the way of that? Eskenazi hit it pretty well, and even if Ramesh had stayed kind of on his feet and potentially jumped, it would have been over him anyway. But to have kind of ducked for cover, I mean, we'll never know, but has he missed an opportunity there for a half an opportunity for a caught and bowl? I can understand why the umpire ducked out the way, but the bowler on the follow through there kind of sunk to his knees in evasive action. That was quite strange, actually.
I have to see a replay of it. And it was hit like a tracer bullet by Stevie Eskenazi. Metric. And you've also got the head-to-head record. So, yeah, unless Warwickshire romp home to an emphatic win, it should be Nottinghamshire who get their hands on the crown, as that one just beats the attempted shot from Tattersall outside the off stump.
Ollie Robinson's got 5. Worcestershire, they're struggling, 96 for 7 after 28 overs at New Road. Somerset doing pretty well. Another different opening pair for Somerset this week. Joshua Thomas and Archie Vaughan opened the batting. Vaughan dismissed, but they're 122 for 1 at Chelmsford against Essex after 32.4 overs. Durham, Yorkshire, that relegation scrap that you spoke about earlier. Durham have lost 3 wickets for 71 against Yorkshire. Middlesex, 145 for 2 against Gloucestershire. Glamorgan, the other team that's been promoted, 6 down against Lancashire for 129. Beautiful cricket shot by Tattersall. Lets the ball turn into the face of the bat. Middles it through point for 4. Raining at Nottingham. Warwickshire 70 for 1. And then Derbyshire 117 for 1 against Kent at Canterbury.
Well, I suppose it's all eyes on the south coast, isn't it? That one, full toss and dispatched away with disdain by Johnny Tattersall. Doesn't even give it a second look. That will be a thumping 4 to the deep point boundary. Moves the Foxes on to 138 for 4. One more delivery remains in this, the 34th over of proceedings. Of course, for Hampshire as well, that would be big. Every single point at this stage of the season matters. I mean, they really are staring down the barrel. But at the same time, if they were to beat Surrey in that game, well, they will survive. Tattersall on 22, Eskenazi on 23. And now for the first time with Nirvan Ramesh, we will see the chess pieces moving about here at Wantage Road. So Broad remains there in at slip, but Charkey no longer under the helmet at short leg. He's gone to backward point.
Yeah, with Eskenazi on strike. We saw it in the when Rishi Patel was there, didn't we, as well? The second that he used his feet, they took short leg out straight away.
That one is expertly placed by Stevie Eskenazi. Just runs it away on the late cut down towards the deep third boundary. And that is a silky smooth 4 off the bats of the Leicestershire newcomer. One of those shots where it felt like time almost just stood still and everyone could appreciate it. How does Ramesh respond? That's a pretty decent riposte there from the youngster. Eskenazi there, shuffles down the track, bringing mid on into play. That's a well-ran single. Moves the visitors on to 156 for 4. And that will be a dot ball to finish. Tattersall just guiding it along the carpet towards Bachake. So Leicestershire 156 for 4.
So Ramesh has one to his name. And he replaces safe save as he fires that loosener over the head of George Bartlett in preparation for the spell. Probably a good idea to get that one out of your system before you start bowling. Anyway, it's Eskenazi on strike. He has to start again. He's on 79. He's looked brilliant for his 79 as well. And gets a bit of a drag down from Ramesh to move to 80. It was an impressive 10 overs this morning, wasn't it, Aaron, from Nirvan Ramesh? Bowled really nicely. Good changes of pace, good control. Looked like he started to tire towards the end of the spell, but deserved the wicket that he got and certainly asked plenty of questions.
Well, he did, and it comes down to that variation. So with finger spin, it's not so much to the same extent as actual variations of deliveries compared to a leg spinner. For example, where you got the flippers, the sliders, leg breaks, top spinners, wrong-uns, etc. It's more about variation in terms of flight, drift, pace of the ball. I mean, yes, Nirvan has got a nice arm ball at his disposal where the ball just skids on off the wicket, along with your traditional off break, but I just think there's an awful lot to like about his bowling. And one other variation which we need to talk about, can't believe I didn't speak about it earlier, but where he's actually releasing the ball from. So you can see on that last one, he's gone very wide with regards to his release. Let's see if he changes up the angle with this next delivery. Instead continues to go wide and clipped away out towards mid-wicket for 1. But that is something that you see all the time with spin bowlers, just changing up the angle. Just gives the batter something additional to think about with regards to their setup, the approach, which option they want to take. It's good to see that it's not solely releasing the ball from one angle.
That one over pitched. Played out to the man, the sweeper, George Scrimshaw. The offside for Eskenazi. He keeps the strike. Yeah, it's subtle, isn't it? But there's just something about him that looks difficult to face. Almost looks like he's able to place the ball where he wants to, if that makes... I know that sounds quite a strange thing to say, but watching him and the way he releases the ball, it's almost kind of going, no, I'm actually kind of just placing it here, if that makes sense. He looks like he's got that much control. 68 overs done. 255 for 6. And Ramesh ready to go. Ball in hand already. Short leg in place. Fortunately for Arish Charkey, who was hit hard in the helmet in that afternoon session, the bat of Ben Cox, and on cue gets hit once more at short leg. He doesn't look a natural under the helmet at short leg, I think would be fair to say, but is healthy and good enough to carry on. There was concern for a while on a bit of a drag down. Call of 2 from Eskenazi, and it'll be a comfortable 2 as George Scrimshaw has to make a lot of ground on the boundary rope there to do that piece of fielding. Well bowled. Good line, good length there for Ramesh. Hasn't quite started this second spell with the efficiency that he did that first one. A little bit more inconsistent with his lines and with his lengths. Has now asked the short fielder there to move from the leg side to the offside. It's played off the back foot into the leg side. So Travaskis at 8, Logan Van Beek carded at 9, Chris Wright at 10, and then Josh Hull at 11 are the remaining batters for Leicestershire County Cricket Club. There's a dot ball to end the over. 257 for 6 after 69.
Bacharke still under the helmet at short leg as well. Eskenazi goes for the reverse. Ramesh goes off in appeal. Umpire not having that particular shout. I don't mind that though from Eskenazi because there is so much open space, providing that he places it nicely. Only got the fielder out at deep point. Aside from Justin Broadin at slip, it's green grass out there. A little bit like that. Plays a delectable late cut. And the deep point fielder races across to limit it to just 2 runs scored. So Eskenazi retains the strike. Moves on to 85. Very next delivery, just strides into that one. Nice confident step outside the off stump. Ramesh looks to skid that latest one towards that area between middle and off. It's a nice little battle emerging between these two. Nirvan would love to get the key wicket.
It's hard to tell, isn't it, from the position that we're in, what exactly Nirvan Ramesh is doing with that ball to make it so tricky for the batters, because none of them have really been able to line him up once he's settled into a spell. I'd love to get a closer look with regards to the variety, the variations that he's got. There's obviously a change of pace. Now, that's quite an easy one and an obvious one to spot. You mentioned the change of angle, which again is a bit more of an obvious and an easier one to spot. But where it almost looks like he pushes it out the front of the hand, doesn't it? And it's, as I say, not the easiest to spot when you're 100 yards away and elevated. But how much of a variation can he get by not moving the wrist all that far? Because the release point looks similar, doesn't it? But yeah, I'd like a closer look.
Yep, same. I think that's completely valid. Maybe the action as well.
Yeah.
Because when you actually look at the point of release, he's almost making an X shape with his arms as Travaskis just about digs that one from Keogh out of the danger zone.
And it kind of releases from above his head as well, doesn't it? It's not a round arm at all. It's a very, very tall and straight arm. If I knew how to use it in a sentence that didn't involve the name Ben Stokes, I'd use the word perpendicular. But it's unusual. It's unusual. No, it's unique. It's a unique action for Nirvan Ramesh. And I suspect if you've not faced him before, which clearly a lot of these professional cricketers wouldn't have done, it will take a little while to line up.
Travaskis this time a little bit more expansive with that drive out towards deep cover point. Moves the score on to 270 for 6. Has been outstanding so far, this from Eskenazi. And it goes back to that previous point of conversation we had. You look at the defence that he's playing against the likes of Ramesh and Keogh, and it is granite-like. He's not looking hesitant with regards to that particular shot. He's playing the ball on its merits. If anything is loose and wide, it's being dispatched for 4 or 6. It's just been a real pleasure to witness this from the 31-year-old. And there is that assertiveness again. Nice big confident stride to meet the pitch of the cricket ball. Also sends out a little bit of a message to the spinners as well. There's one thing that finger spinners and leg spinners absolutely love. It's witnessing someone having those concrete shoes and just sticking deep in the crease, not utilising their footwork. As you look there again with Eskenazi, plays that one very adeptly indeed, and that will be a dot ball to round out the over. So Leicestershire are 270 for 6 after 73 overs here at Wantage Road.
Racing along. James Coles, what a season he's having. The Sussex all-rounder.
Here is Ramesh to Eskenazi. It's funny, we spoke about the national counties earlier. James Coles came up through Oxfordshire. I know they've got quite the connection, haven't they, with Sussex. A number of their players have played for the Martlets over the years. The likes of Harrison Ward and Zach Leon Cachet as well.
It's a nice partnership, isn't it, between the two of them? One that's been really well developed and publicised, and I think benefited both.
100%. The same can be said about Northamptonshire and Bedfordshire.
Yeah.
With Emilio Gay and Rob Keogh.
Buckinghamshire as well.
Well, there is Eskenazi on the reverse, and this time he has found the gap. That'll be 4 runs down towards the Briggs and Forrester family stand. Excellent execution from the 31-year-old. He continues on his merry way. Leicestershire 367 for 7. And Eskenazi has 136 of those. We are seeing one of those Buckinghamshire players, aren't we, in Safe Sabe? Adi Sharma as well. Someone who's played for the national counties side. Really nice to see that liaising between the different structures in that wider cricketing ecosystem. And I know for the national counties, it's an immense point of pride as well when one of their players does get picked up, whether that's for the One Day Cup or the Blast or the Championship. Just goes to show the value of having all of those different niches of the pyramid. Eskenazi rotates the strike there, moves on to 137. Seen plenty as well over the course of this summer. Joe Pocklington, he's now got a professional deal with Nottinghamshire. Rory Hayden's the big one for me, from Staffordshire. Remember watching him play a little bit of twos cricket for Warwickshire. Didn't quite earn an opportunity with the Bears, and now got a 3-year deal with Derbyshire as Bartlett. Little bit of a misfield there. Allows for Van Beek to come home for the single. That'll bring about the conclusion of the 92nd. So Leicestershire 369 for 7. Yeah, it's just one of those things. He'll just have to put it into the back of his mind now. Hope that either he or one of his teammates can end the stay of Eskenazi at the crease. But right there is just intelligent cricket from the former Middlesex middle order bat. Funny there, Bacharke straight away was sprinting towards the helmet. He was keen to get in at short leg. Instead pushed back to 45.
Yeah, I'm not sure at 380 for 7 with 22 minutes left on the clock whether short leg is the place to be. Be thinking slightly more defensive fields, wouldn't you, I think, for Northamptonshire for the remainder of the day. Because it's not inconceivable to think that they could concede 400 runs in a day's play by the time we get round to 5:30, particularly with the way that Eskenazi and Logan Van Beek can strike a cricket ball.
Single there for Van Beek. Moves him on to 21. So Eskenazi back on strike here for the Foxes. That one fired in down the leg side. One pitched very full by Ramesh. Guided away by Eskenazi. End of the over. Leicestershire 381 for 7. A little bit of gardening being done as well in the middle between Van Beek and Eskenazi. Getting to this point of the day where you're probably just saying between each other as a pair not to do anything too rash. Don't need to gift away your wicket. 15 minutes of the day's play remain.
I think they'll just continue playing the way they've been playing, Aaron, to be honest. 55 off 63 runs is the partnership between the two of them. Van Beek is 22 off 24.
Well, there is that intent being shown there by Van Beek. A great stop out in the covers by James Sales. Prevents the boundary from being scored. And that's what I like to see, even if it hasn't been your day in terms of the wickets column. And in this case as well, with Leicestershire on 385, the runs column to boot. Still got to show that energy, that character in the field. Eskenazi just drops that towards backward point for no run. It's the one thing that you can constantly control in a game of cricket is your attitude, your body language, your desire, your hunger to do the best for your side. Another nice stop this time from Arish Bachake. Prevents any runs from being scored. Eskenazi remains on 146. In a knock which has seen him scored 18 fours and 2 sixes. Really has been the chief aggressor for the visiting side. He's played that beautifully late. Hasn't quite got the timing to take it all the way for 4 runs, but will be an easy 2.
Number 9, that's for sure. Other counties would certainly be batting at least 1 further up the pecking order, wouldn't he? Very, very accomplished cricketer. Good record at first-class cricket as well. Feels like he's played championship cricket for a while now as well. He's been around. He's been a few different counties. Calling Leicestershire home at the moment.
And this will be the moment for Stevie Eskenazi. 150 runs for the Leicestershire number 5. Gives a nice signal there to his teammates, who to a man are out on the dressing room balcony. It's a knock which has included 18 fours and 2 sixes. We spoke about him being the glue guy, and he has single-handedly held this innings together. Has had apt support from the likes of Johnny Tattersall. He scored 47. Ben Cox scored 20. Liam Travaskis with 37. And Van Beek, the latest of his partners, on 26. Stevie Eskenazi really has been on another planet today. Very, very well batted indeed. He continues to go about his business. Looks as cold as ice, doesn't he? Down at the non-striker's end. As Van Beek looks to punch that one off the back foot. Next one from Ramesh, slightly over pitched, allows for Van Beek to dig it out towards mid-off.
We're going to have safe save to round the day out from the Lynn Wilson Centre end. 6 minutes to go. The Leicestershire batters have called for a fresh pair of gloves and a drink as well.
Already spoke about this season, getting Leicestershire back to the promised land of the top flight. Got promoted in club cricket with Kenilworth Wardens back to the Birmingham Prem. Can he bowl the Foxes to victory to round out the season in style? Nirvan Ramesh should get a single. Indeed he will. There's a misfield in the end there by Ian Holland. Ramesh scampers through for the quickly ran one.
I wonder if the decision with regards to the follow-on is slightly different where it is the last game of the season. It's not like there's another game on the horizon. Protection on offer. Sweepers both sides of the wicket for Ramesh. It just feels a bit clunky, doesn't it, by the hosts? It's extra time is being taken for fielders to get in the right position. Late changes as well. Never easy captaining the side from behind the stumps. I will add that. You don't get the best view of the outfield, do you, from where Lewis McManus's vantage point is. So he would need a second in command out there that he could lean on. Swept away. This time doesn't get it past George Scrimshaw. Single taken into the offside, just dropped out there safely. Certainly feels like Leicestershire are batting to come back tomorrow, aren't they? They've not really looked to impose themselves here since the departure of those two quick wickets.
No, definitely not. It's just been sensible batting, hasn't it, between Hill and Patel.
Patel on offer for Ramesh as it's defended off the back foot by Lewis Hill. I think he'll be a hard player to reverse sweep, but there's a big gap down towards deep third in the members' pavilion here at Wantage Road. He just leans on that one, lets the ball turn and come into the bat face and runs it down into that vacant region, and will come back for a third. Well run, Rishi Patel and Lewis Hill. Met by a solitary round of applause from somebody in the grounds. Nicely timed, but can't find the gap on the leg side. What's your thoughts then, Aaron, with regards to timings or numbers? What have you made of it, Aaron? What about the decision to bat again? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think it's just a case of Leicestershire setting up the foundation for tomorrow, isn't it? I think a lot of people, myself included, thought there would have been the follow-on, given the nature with which Leicestershire completely tore through the Northamptonshire batting unit, dismissed the home side for 189 runs. But as soon as you saw Rishi Patel and Sol Budinger sprint into the dressing room, it didn't have the feel of a side who are going to come out here and smash a quick fire 150, 160 runs in the remaining stages here on day two. Almost felt as though there would be that initial burst of aggression from Sol Budinger. Then those back-to-back wickets just halting the momentum slightly for the Foxes. But since then, it's what you'd refer to as a more traditional approach, isn't it? Just a lot of singles, a few twos running now and again. It's nothing too unorthodox, is it, from Leicestershire? To be honest, there doesn't really need to be, especially not at this point, this stage of the day's play. Less than 5 overs to go. These two will be wanting to be there as we start day three. In less than 24 hours' time.
Big appeal for LBW. Attempted slog sweep. Ramesh on his knees. Umpire, quick shake of the head. We move on to the next over. Rishi Patel trying to dispatch Ramesh out of Northampton. And it is going to be Nirvan Ramesh. 2 overs, none for 5. Big appeal for LBW at the end of the previous over. Silly point short leg, first slip in place. That one cut into the offside. Behind point, runs away for 2. Lewis Hill into double figures. It's on 13 now. Nicely bowled by Nirvan Ramesh. Starting to get that ball to really grip into the surface. Turning back into Lewis Hill. Again, that time passed. Arish Buchaki at short leg for a single. .82 for 2. Leicestershire lead now by 322 runs. It's been another day dominated by Leicestershire. Wrapping up that first innings on 429 this morning. Eskenazi out eventually for 155. It was wrapped up quite quickly by Northamptonshire, to be fair. Justin Broad doing the damage. And then Northamptonshire's turn to bat. High score of 62. Wickets falling consistently throughout the innings. 3 for Ian Holland, 3 for Chris Wright, 1 for Logan Van Beek, 1 for Josh Hull, 2 for Liam Travaskis. All out for 189. Giving a huge, huge advantage going into the third innings of this game.
Certainly shown his worth to the White Rose in this final round of championship matches. So here is Nirvan Ramesh then for the final over on day 2. Sales throws that ball towards the striker's end. Single taken. Even more impressive when you think that Agarwal himself was a replacement player for Imam Al-Haq. He was initially brought in for the One Day Cup and the final rounds of the championship. So well batted to Mayank. Of course, congratulations to Nottinghamshire as well for lifting the Division 1 title. Change of angle here for Nirvan Ramesh, coming around the wicket to Lewis Hill. That fielder in the eye line now goes to leg slip. More of a leg gully, really, isn't it? Almost immediately brought into play. Stuart van der Merwe. Charkey under the lid at short leg. Justin Broad in at first slip as well. So that one is played away in front of square. Will be another single. So Leicestershire well and truly in the ascendancy in this game.
Yeah, the 2 spinners have bowled well, haven't they, in tandem this evening. There'll be 10 overs for around about 30 runs with 2 wickets as well for Keogh and Ramesh. between them. They have been able to apply a bit of pressure, slow Leicestershire down. Suspect it'll be a bit more spin tomorrow, wouldn't you, from Northamptonshire? And that is that, I believe. The final delivery of the day here on day 2 at Wantage Road. It's defended into the offside by Rishi Patel, who walks off having faced 73 deliveries this evening for 20 runs. And Lewis Hill with him on 16 off 32. And it stumps Leicestershire at 86 for 2 with a lead of 326 runs with 8 wickets remaining.
So here is Nirvan Ramesh then from the David Capel ends. First ball to Eskenazi, tickled around the corner, and that will be a single. So I imagine, Dan, we'll see quite a bit of Nirvan today. As you've just mentioned, get some overs in the body. And he's a very impressive young spinner. Let's not forget he's 17 years old. Still very new and fresh to professional cricket.
Yeah, he looks tricky. He doesn't look like a huge turner of the cricket ball. And I always caveat it with the fact that I'm sat 90 to 100 yards away in an elevated position at fine leg. So it's not exactly deep third. So it's not exactly the best spot. Doesn't look like the biggest turner. But it looks tricky to line up as I say that. And Rishi Patel just deposits him down the ground for 4. It was overpitched. I don't know, Chris, has anybody in the Leicestershire dressing room, it'd be the first time the lads would have faced him, right? In that first innings. Any feedback with regards to what is it? It's something about the release point looks just unusual to line up.
Yeah, I think he bowls on the quicker side. I think that was something that was mentioned.
That's dragged down, pulled away, and stopped in the end down at deep mid-wicket for a single.
I don't think the wicket's particularly turning a lot yet, but certainly he's on the quicker side, so potentially he's not going to spin it as much as Keogh, who maybe gives it a bit more flight and stuff. But yeah, his action is kind of unorthodox. I totally get what you're saying. Kind of out the front bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of pushes it, as you would expect with a finger spinner, but kind of looks like that wrist is able to, and those fingers are able to manipulate which way the ball releases the hand, releases from the hand.
I'm wondering what Rishi's doing there. He's it looks like maybe the bowler's followed through kind of down the middle a bit, and Rishi's drawing the umpire's attention to it, which he certainly shouldn't be doing if we're bowling last. Obviously, he's got his batting head on.
So that will be the end of the over.
I might possess the same equipment, but it is hard work.
You probably make it hard on yourself through lack of frequency. You know what I mean? You probably find your body feels better doing it every week, at least.
Possibly.
Constant.
4 days in a row, I might struggle to stand up now, but.
Oh, there we go. We actually have got the backup to that. He's the first Northamptonshire wicketkeeper to play every game for the county since 2002. And that is some going. And that was via, well, Mr. Northamptonshire himself, Andrew Raz. Thanks for letting us know, Michael. And that is ever so impressive, isn't it? 16 T20 games, 8 one-day cup and 14 championship. Kept at every single delivery. That one is worked down towards long gone by Rishi Patel. Moves him into the 60s.
I know, Aaron, you haven't asked it yet, but I know you've got a burning question that you want to ask Chris, haven't you? With regards to the future and why things are ending now.
Well, I suppose I do have to ask the question, Chris. Why 2025? Why not the extra year? What was it about this season? I suppose it is the fairy tale, isn't it? The fact that promotion achieved for the first time in 22 years. Ramesh around the wicket, half stops it, quick single here for Patel. And that will be a comfortable one in the end. But when did you make the decision? I suppose that would be the big question.
That's a good question. I had thought about it at the start of the year, and I had a good pre-season. And the interesting bit, was essentially there was a period where I'd bowl well and I'd be like, oh, why am I thinking this? I shouldn't think this, kind of thing. And I think a lot of people don't get to kind of retire in a nice way. Do you know what I mean? And so I guess in my case, this is potentially as close to that as I can get. I think played against Middlesex, for example, at the time, who then won it. That's the kind of foundation. Obviously, we haven't played Division 1 for a while, so I guess we haven't got the hugest squad, so it'd be interesting to see how the physicality and the rigours of Division 1 affect the guys. But in terms of the quality and the players, it's experience now. I think our age profile since I've been at the club has slowly moved up to I guess maybe it would be a sweet spot. Do you know what I mean? That kind of, probably if you're looking for peak performance in cricket, I'd say it's nearer to 30 than 20. Maybe in football it might be different, but yeah, there's experienced, high-quality players in the team. So, and there's a sprinkling of the young talent, which obviously you need as well. So I think we should do well. I think we're going to have to be really smart with, balancing. Well, not right.
He's out. Eskenazi playing the reverse, and in the end, the ball dribbles onto the stumps. It's a wicket for the 17-year-old Nirvan Ramesh. And Eskenazi will not trouble the scorers any further in the second innings. He has to depart for 16 runs. Leicestershire now 166 for 4 runs. That's a lovely moment, isn't it, for Nirvan Ramesh, Dan? He's a fine young bowler, continues to get consistent wickets for Northamptonshire across formats. And although that was admittedly fortuitous compared to previous dismissals we've seen from the young gun, that'll feel good, won't it, to dismiss the dangerous Eskenazi?
Yeah, of course. To pick the guy up that walked off with 155 to his name the other day is going to be huge. And got a great wicket, didn't he, in the first innings of Lewis Hill on the sweep again. I think that one there, yes, okay, the ending of it was fortuitous, but the nature of the delivery, it set the opportunity up for the drag on, didn't it? Eskenazi mistimed the sweep. He misread the flight or the pace of the ball. So yes, fortuitous ending, however, was able to ask the question. And I suppose the question then would have been as to, if it hadn't have gone onto the stumps, was there a bit of glove involved, or had it gone straight onto the pad, onto the glove and back round? The umpire would have had to have made the decision, because he does bowl quite straight, doesn't he, Nirvan Ramesh?
I like his tactically. I think he's got it right. Round the wicket. Obviously, we can see the dimensions of the ground and stuff. So I knew Esky was thinking about reverse sweeping today, because obviously we did it with him last night. I think it works really well if the bowling is over the wicket, outside of stump. But what this young lad's doing, he's around the wicket. I imagine he's holding quite a tight-ish off-stump line. If it spins, it's obviously going to be hitting middle and leg. If it kind of carries on, then just outside off stump. Probably reverse sweeping from round is a bit trickier, maybe. So yeah, deserved a pump. Yeah, you deserve them all. You take them all, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. It's hard enough to pick up wickets, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Get a bit of luck goes against you. You're due a bit that goes in your favour. New man in for Leicestershire is another new face for the Foxes. Johnny Tattersall gets off the mark straight away, just turns Ramesh into the leg side for a single. And then obviously for Northamptonshire, here at Wantage Road on the Northants live stream, realise not at all as kind of invested in Northamptonshire cricket as you are with Leicestershire's, but some good seasons. Safe Saves had a fantastic season. Justin Broad's had a kind of a real standout season. I know this week Northamptonshire are without the captain Luke Proctor, Ben Sanderson, but from afar, what have you, and from what you have seen, what have you made of Northamptonshire in 2025?
So I haven't seen Broad a lot. I thought he bowled really well this game, and he looks like someone who they can really build a team around. Do you know what I mean? Good with the bat, good with the ball. I saw on social media he's got like a 3-minute 2K time trial run or something stupid. So he's clearly fit.
I was there that day, and it was one of the most mind-blowing things I've ever. He without I'm not naming names, he pretty much lapped probably 75% of the squad on that day. 6 minutes and 1 second, I think 2K, wild.
So what I quite, I think surely it'll be Pope at 3 still.
Well, that's the consensus, isn't it? I think even though Pope's been removed as vice captain, that's now gone to Harry Brook. Ramesh comes into bowl here to Tattersall. Defended away. Yeah, I do imagine it will be Pope at 3.
I think the top 7 picks itself, doesn't it?
Yep.
That's so set in stone and has been for a long time. It would be not reckless, but I think would be strange to suddenly kind of change that up. And Ollie Pope's got a fantastic record at number 3 for England, particularly with Stokes as captain. Let's not forget that he averages over 40 with the bat there in this kind of setup. And we have genuine and serious conversations about dropping him from the side. And you think, well, you'd bite your hand off if somebody offered you that at number 3.
I mean, the only reason I've said that is because I guess that's what you're hearing in the media and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of outrageous. The bloke's, like you say, he's got a really good record. He's a really good player. Which is it a bit like Ian Bell back in the day? It was always like he had to do a little bit more to get people off his back, which is kind of unfair. Like, do you know what I mean? I imagine he's a great. I don't know him personally, but played against him. I imagine he's a great team guy, full of energy, giving fields well, all of these things. But yet, for some reason, people are sort of talking about him like he shouldn't.
Some people.
Yeah, people like Aaron. Yeah.
Honestly, I think it looks good. I think we're in for a really, really exciting winter. I'm not going to sit here and say we're definitely going to win them, but I think there is a fantastic opportunity that we're at least going to compete for 25 days, which is something that we haven't been able to do over the last 10 or so years down there, is it? So that's exciting. If the fast bowlers stay fit, then they're going to be a handful to play against. And Australia, they don't look as strong as they ever have been. So a really, really big opportunity.
I agree. I think I feel like we're maybe we're a better team than them. Their bowling lineup is obviously the thing, isn't it? Which is unbelievable. But if Cummins, so he's got a hot spot in his back, hasn't he, or whatever. So that's a precursor to a stressy. In Australia, they're tough conditions to come in for 5 tests. So if he's not fit or if he's feeling his back, I feel like that's hard. That's a hard going. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he can kind of run in within himself. He's going to swing around all loads and all that sort of stuff. He's going to have.
Nirvan Ramesh continues from the David Capel end. Northants persisting with that first slip. It's Justin Broad in there as well. Sounds like the school class Aaron that made their way in have just moved their way around the ground and got underneath the effects mic here at the county grounds. That's a beautiful reverse sweep from Johnny Tattersall. Finds the gap between first slip and Rob Keogh and races down to the boundary for 4. He moves to 8. I'm sure there'll be a bit of concourse cricket going on at lunchtime.
Oh, 100%. It's one of the great things, isn't it, about attending a day of first-class cricket. It's a core memory, isn't it? I know we spoke about that earlier. Both me and you, Dan, we would have loved to have done it. Is it something that you got the chance to do, Ricey, go to a first-class game during your school days?
So I used to go to the old Hampshire ground. I can't remember the name of it.
Northlands. We mentioned it on commentary yesterday.
Slog sweep this time. Showing his full repertoire of shots. There's a chase on down on the boundary rope and the ball is going to win. 2 Northants fielders converge on it. Tattersall finds the gap. Offside sorry, leg side this time, and being Nirvan Ramesh under a bit of pressure. There's some real intent here from Johnny Tattersall to move this scoreboard along. He's gone to 12 quite quickly.
This again, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the next move from the skipper is here, to be totally honest, because he's obviously played the reverse and the slog sweep. It might be to remove the slip, which he, is ideally a bit of a last resort, but equally it's very hard for spinners when they're bowling a capable sweeper.
Yeah, it's a change of angle for Ramesh to try and combat Johnny Tattersall. Lead now 426.
But yeah, I feel like every county ground probably has a spot where you can kind of get a game in, doesn't it? Certainly the older, the grounds more than the stadiums perhaps, but the one at Hampshire, yeah, it was great. Used to go there with a couple of mates. Get on the outfield at lunch, that sort of stuff.
Good toss that time. Tattersall meets it, beats the dive. Short mid-wicket for a single. So we'll keep the strike. After 50 overs, the score ticks along to 187 for 4 and an imposing lead of 427 with 6 wickets still remaining.
Was my maidens guy, my economical guy. So he would be my standard one. Then every now and again, I'd just leave it on the boundary. And if that went well, I'd stick with it. If it didn't go well, I'd mix it up with a chopper or Portfield. So that's my only one. But the lapping, I'm like, that's nonsense, isn't it? It's all nonsense.
I mean, some could say that would be the case for giving your hat to a particular person to hand to the umpire as well. But yes, absolutely
yes,
right.
Yeah, this is it.
For one superstition that you've invested in it. That is for sure.
Yeah, no, very true. Yeah.
But no, not at all. Cricket's a superstitious game, isn't it? And a lot of cricketers have their own little, I guess, kind of ticks and tricks, things that help them kind of fire them up or focus on something in particular.
I think sometimes it's more about avoiding certain things on a lap, which I think players, they hide behind superstition. But
down the leg side, given, is it? It's not. No, I thought that was actually for a second. I thought the umpire got halfway through raising a finger. Rishi Patel stays on 71 not out. Maybe it was an indication that it brushed the thigh pad or I thought for a second, I thought that finger raised halfway up, but 191 for 4. Nirvan Ramesh from the David Capel end. Smart bit of keeping by Lewis McManus regardless. And that one, mistimed slog sweep to Arish Buchake at deep square leg for a single.
So an example, come out the changing room, for example, and you're thinking, oh, we're batting, so right for runs, I'm assuming is what you're thinking
yes.
Here, right? But let's say you've got a couple of dodgy streaming commentators who just happen to be lurking there, who you don't want to chat to. In that case, you maybe abandon superstition for that moment. You go left, you walk the other way, and hopefully they've dispersed by the time you get round. It could be opposition coaches that you want to avoid. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Probably sounding really unsociable here, but... So, for example, I've already thought about when I leave here, I will coincide it with the two gentlemen down here's lap to make sure I can just safely avoid any chit-chat and get up to where I'm going.
Make your way around. Dot ball to finish. Good stop. Almost looked like a bit of a painful stop there at mid-wicket. That kind of hollow thud as it hits a knee. I think there's a bit of a limp on for the fielder there that did that piece of fielding as well, just to give you an indication that it was a bit of a crunch.
And what's also funny about that is you've got people in that team dying to impress, and you've also got people who will be dying to be anywhere else because they're, whether they've been left out or whatever, or this sort of stuff. So that dynamic on the daily is a very funny one, I think. But the Metro Bank win with Leicester, I know you're a Warwickshire fan, but was probably the best day because the game itself was crazy. Obviously, Swinney, I think, you wouldn't mind me admitting, Harry Swindles at the time, I think, was potentially not getting signed again and got kind of pulled in. I'd say last minute, but good shot.
Should be at least 2 runs, might be 3. In the end, it'll be scooped back in. That's some good work from Ben Whitehouse. Limits it to just 2 runs.
So Harry Swindles in that game, yeah, his career was basically on a knife edge, and he went out and from what we've 16 for 4 or something.
Yeah,
an amazing 100. And I remember, like, to be fair, personally, I think I was probably in tears a little bit in between. It was a really emotional thing for him, and a brilliant innings. And then obviously we got 260 odd, which in today's game is very gettable. And we scrapped and we got over the line. So that probably number one. The 2016 Lord's final with Warwickshire was epic because we basically walloped a highly fancied, and ultimately it was a very star-studded Surrey team. We just dealt with them. We were in the Lord's Tavern by 4, enjoying that win. But that was kind of, it's done. Do you know what I mean? By 4, it was a bit rogue. Personally, the 2012 game at Worcester when we won the championship, like, probably, obviously that's a 4-day game, but when Keith and I sort of led the team off, we'd obviously each got a fifer and bowling up for 40 odd. I get at that point we were kind of like, we've probably won the league there. That was a special moment. But I think those two 1-day cup wins were the ones that stood out.
So Ramesh just ready to bowl here to Tattersall. Very spread field now, isn't it, for the young Ramesh? Hides that one wide outside the off stump. And yeah, going back to that 1-day cup victory for the Foxes, very much Leicester made, wasn't it? Sam Evans as well, the hometown hero.
Yep.
A product of Leicester Ivanhoe Cricket Club. Harry Swindles, as you said, battling away for his professional career at that point. So walloped away. Good stop there. In at short mid-wicket by Justin Broad will be a dot ball. And the other question, Chris, and it is a massive one, and we'll wait until the end of the over because it's a very retrospective one. Give you a few minutes, or well, a few seconds, depending on what you think the required answer is. Tattersall just covers up on that one, and that will be a dot ball to finish. Leicestershire 198 for 4, Rishi Patel on 73, and Johnny Tattersall on 20.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
You come down and play for my team if you want. I reckon you'll do all right.
You're Sussex based.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard. I don't 100% know yet is the answer. Do you know what I mean? Ultimately, I love the team environment. I think it's maybe as a seamer, it's a bit different. I don't know what I can and can't say necessarily on the stream, and this probably sounds bad. I'm not sure I can be asked anymore. To run in.
Hey, honesty is the best.
Do you know
policy,
what I mean?
Isn't it?
Do you know what I mean?
No. At the end of the day, you've competed at the highest level, haven't you, as a professional cricketer here? We've spoken about the trophies that you've won, the highs that you've experienced, the dressing rooms that you've shared, the length and the longevity of your career. I think you're perfectly entitled to have that mindset with regards to it.
Cricket's such a tricky game. It's so, like, humbling. Like, you know, you can have a great day one day and then a honking one the next. And I think you've got to be in a certain place to deal with the ones that are tough, especially as a bowler, physically tough. You don't get your awards. Potentially a batter's got your number. You've got to have the energy and the mindset to deal with that. To be honest, that can even happen at club cricket, right? You know what I mean? I remember having a few Barneys this year in club cricket with batters and stuff where, like, you know what I mean? Your beans going and stuff. So, yeah, I guess if you feel like you can deal with all of those, because they will inevitably happen, then maybe I'll play a little bit more. I won't miss having to back it up on like a day 2 or in a second innings when you're bowling at high quality players and you're physically sore. potentially borderline injured. I won't miss that. Do you know what I mean? But maybe I should do what you do every fortnight, roll out.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Well, I think probably the first thing you're entitled to do is get your flip-flops and your swim shorts on and take yourself off for a nice holiday at the end of this game.
I haven't booked anywhere yet. So typically, for anyone watching on the stream or listening or whatever, October's the month where the English county lads, anyway, if you're not the franchise circuit, that's the month where everyone goes away. Haven't committed to anywhere yet. So I'm hoping for, like, I've heard, and this may be true or not, last minute holidays can either be really expensive or they can either be like, you can pick up a bargain. So I'm hoping for the latter. And then it's just going as far south as you need to go to get heat. So if you've got any suggestions, far away.
Nirvan Ramesh to round out the morning session. Bencock surrounded by Northampton fielders now. $203 for 5. As Chris Wright departs the commentary box and heads back across the gantry. Enjoyed that. That was good fun.
Amazing. What a man. One of the truly great characters of county cricket. This morning session has flown by as well, hasn't it?
It has.
Goodness me. Plenty of overs being bowled.
Raced along as well. 4-4-3 the lead now for Leicestershire. Certainly don't think they're going to need too many more than that. That's a rank wide one from Nirvan Ramesh, and it's cut away by Ben Cox. There's no protection out on that boundary now. Those fielders that have made their way into first slip, leg slip, short leg. Takes the protection away. 207 for 5. 4-4-7 the lead. Oh, and a big appeal for LBW. Ramesh can't believe it. Box maybe just outside the line. Nearly Aaron, nearly Northants got that second one that they wanted before the lunch break.
He's bowled well, hasn't he, Nirvan Ramesh? Really is a fine young spin bowler.
And that is the end of the over and the end of the session as well. 207 for 5 at lunch here on day 3 at Wantage Road. Leicestershire lead Northamptonshire by 447 with 5 wickets remaining. We will take our break for lunch and we'll be back at about 1:10 for the afternoon session. So the Leicestershire fielders will don the protective equipment, get under the lid, surround Nirvan Ramesh. Here is Josh Hull to Nirvan Ramesh. Attempted to guide it through and past Eskenazi, who gets the mitt on it, stops it running through the cordon. It's the end of the over, just 1 run conceded.